Namaste, a warm welcome to everyone from Vivekananda Health Global, a center for integrative medicine of Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy. With the present scenario of COVID or in management of any condition or prevention of any condition, looking after your lifestyle is key. When we talk about lifestyle, diet and exercise is always being taken care. What we tend to ignore is our anxiety, stress, which are actually, interconnected. Well, the answer is calming your mind. And the way to do is meditation. Well, on this note, I, Dr. Shraddha, take the privilege to welcome and introduce our guest speaker for the session, Dr. Manjunath MK. I welcome you, sir, and we are grateful for you being in this platform. Let me also introduce Dr. Manjunath MK, Pro Vice Chancellor, Director of Research, SVYASA University. He has completed bachelor's degree in naturopathy and yogic science from Mangalore University and PhD Yoga and Geriatric Medicine and Doctor of Science from SVYASA University. He has 25 years of research experience and has published 76 plus research papers in journals, indexed in of International Journal of Yoga and reviewer of various international journals. He is also the Vice President of Vivekananda Yoga University, California, USA, Director of Boston Center of Excellence, USA, Vice President of Asian Yoga Therapy Association, Singapore. His research interests include psychophysiology of yoga, neural correlates of meditation, aging, and rehabilitation. He believes in integration system of medicine and it being a future of healthcare and combining the best of Ayush system of medicine with the convention system of medicine. With this introduction, I request Dr. Manjunath to take over the platform and start the session. Over to you, Dr. Manjunath.
Namaste and thank you, Dr. Shraddha, for that wonderful introduction. And today's session is all about forgetting whatever our achievements are, what we do in this physical world, to go inwards. So probably it can all start with this understanding that there is a primordial body and we are all part of it. And we have to actually get back to our original self. And there are many ways and means of achieving it. And meditation is one of that. Meditation in particular can be done using multiple methods. Some do meditation using any external object as one of the things on which they can focus. Few others do it on a sound, while some others observe meditation through silence. What we are going to do today is something which is based on sound. So hence this whole technique is called as mind-sound resonance technique. So where we bring in an optimal health through our mind, bringing the most essential component of sound, which is resonance. And this technique has been developed by the founder of SVYASA University, Dr. H.R. Nagendra. With love, we all call him as Guruji. And the whole idea behind this technique is that we can use this special feature of sound to actually invoke a kind of well-being in us. So we have multiple goals of doing this, practicing this technique. Some are at physical level, while some others are at mental level. But the final goal always remains that we move towards our spiritual evolution. So let me very quickly, I have structured this whole session into three parts. One is initially I'm going to give some introduction about this technique, and then we are going to have the practice of this technique, and then followed by, if time permits, we will have some quick discussion or a question and answer kind of a session. Let me just share you some thoughts in the form of this PPT. So as I said, we are going to discuss about this technique called the mind sound resonance technique. The whole purpose is to use sound to produce resonance, which can influence your mind. And actually, we all know it well that multiple resonance techniques are used to achieve similar goals, which can promote your health, which can prevent diseases. And the goal is also to support healing and facilitate rehabilitation. Specific sound frequencies are shown to have varied influences on your physiological rhythms, and hence it is used as an effective tool in mind-body medicine. If you ask what exactly is mind all about, so there are two versions of it. One is looking at the neuroscience version, and another is yogic version. So as far as neuroscience is concerned, mind is the functioning of your brain cells. So we all know that brain is like your central processing unit, and that processing activity has been related to the activity of your mind as far as neuroscience is concerned. And it is believed that mind can't exist without your brain. So hence we always bring a matter-based approach when we understand mind through a neuroscience perspective, while yogic perspective talks little more in depth. So we believe that mind is a collection of thoughts. So once again, it is not just a simulation of expression of your thoughts, but also it is backward integration of consciousness from the external physical world to your inner world. So mind can exist beyond brain because this is not just limited to your physical entity. And hence we always relate it to something called consciousness-based approach. So in this, we are going to use the second component, which is sound. So once again, if you ask the question, what exactly is sound all about? We look at science, and we all have studied that sound is a form of energy. Okay, so it needs a medium for transmission. And we all remember how we have done the physics experiment either in our school or college time. So without a medium, sound cannot transmit. Whereas in yoga, we believe or we relate sound to a wave, so taranga. Certainly, when you go beyond the physical entity, it does not require a medium for transmission. So because it can be of two qualities. So one is a heard sound, another is an unheard sound. Heard, what we call it as ahata, and unheard sound as anahata. So space where the sound travels can be not just limited to physical world, it can be at the mental, or it can also be at the cosmic space. So which we always related it to pure consciousness. But there are two commonalities, whether you look at the sound through the perspective of science or yoga. Sound has these two qualities. One is frequency, another is amplitude. Repetition of one sound, how many times in a specified time, and how bigger impact the sound can make based on the size, which is the amplitude what a sound can result in. The third component is resonance. Okay, so we all have heard of a very special phenomenon called resonance. So what happens is that an external force or a vibrating system can actually influence another system around it to vibrate with greater amplitude at a specified frequency of operation. So a simple way to understand is, imagine two of us are doing an activity, like we are pushing something. So you want to uproot a tree. Okay, so you see in many villages that people without any support try pushing and uprooting it. So if there is a kind of harmony in the kind of frequency what they generate in doing this activity, then there is expanded or amplification of this frequency. What happens when two individuals or multiple individuals are doing it. Similarly, there is a natural frequency in every object, be it living or non-living, and there is an influencing frequency which can match with the natural frequency to amplify this. So we might have heard this very well-known phenomenon. Okay, like if you have you heard about soldiers when they are marching, particularly when they are crossing a bridge, they are asked to break their rhythm. Okay, so for example, they are doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I mean, they have a rhythm when they are marching, but when they are crossing a bridge, generally they are asked to do this because this is based on an experience that when people in a couple of places, when they were marching with the same rhythm, after as they crossed the bridge, it was observed that the bridge collapsed. So probably the frequency with which they were marching matched with the natural frequency of the bridge to actually amplify and break it. So we also have this experience with tuning musical instruments. So, you keep on increasing the tightening a string of a guitar till it meets the natural frequency and your striking frequency. Once it meets, it actually generates a beautiful amplified sound. So there is a way we generate resonance. So to do this, why do we use sound? Because sound is one tool which can always bring us back to the present. As we all know it very well, that mind keeps slipping from present, either from present to the past or to the future. So resonance brings the mind to the present, and particularly using sound as an input. So in this technique, we use sound resonance. And just one important principle behind this whole technique is developing synchrony. As I said, there is natural frequency and there is a resonance frequency. So we can develop that when we match with a sound produced matching with my natural frequency. So many people ask this question, like, I feel an amazing change in me when I do some chanting. Okay, so but somebody else says that no, chanting doesn't produce an equal amount of change in me, similar to what happens when I listen to a music. So probably when you listen to a music, you pick something which matches with your natural frequency, then you get engrossed with it. Okay, that is the process of meditation all about. And similarly, when you chant something, either a single syllable or multiple syllables, or as a word, single word or multiple words, it all matters how you can bring in this resonance for your utility. There is another principle what we use to deepen the experience is by creating something called echo and reverberation. So as all of you might have seen, these kind of parallel mirrors. So when you actually have parallel mirrors, though there are only two mirrors, you see as if these reflections are creating an image of thousands and hundreds and thousands of mirrors. So similarly, we can create this process of echo and reverberation through sound. Sound is an amazing tool. So some of you might have experienced when you go to a place where you have a kind of a dome where you stand in the center and you make a sound and it comes back to you. You go to a hilltop and you scream loudly, whosever name you like, etc. And you hear from different places the same sound repeating again and again. So when it can happen outside, the same thing can happen inside also, because we have a same ecosystem inside our body and we use sound to generate this and to achieve it. Finally, some information about a mantra, because in this practice we also use a mantra. It is said, Mananat Rayate iti mantraha, so which means sustained repetition of that which protects from all miseries arising from bondage or cycles of birth and death is called as a mantra. So mantras have their origin from this primordial sound called Om, which is the sound of creation. Okay, so each mantra has a signature impact on body and mind, and these are powered by sound, and the highest resonance frequency what we can actually aim to achieve using these tools. There are multiple ways people can actually connect these chanting mantras and having them as tools of your meditation, because not one mantra can be a universal mantra for everybody, because we are all bound by our gunas, okay, qualities, personality traits, be it tamasic, which is more of an individual with a laid back, or personality which always pulls you down with lethargy, while Rajasic is an hyper-erosive, hyperactive individual, while Tamasic, Sattvic is an individual with a calm and relaxed mind. So we need to identify what exactly is needed for an individual with a specific personality trait. Whichever personality trait from which you are coming, this one universal mantra, Om, can fit in or suit every individual, because this is made out of these three simple syllables, A, U, and Ma. So one Upanishad which talks about Omkara very much in detail is the smallest and the most important Upanishad called Mandukya Upanishad, where it is related with the three states, okay, Jagrit, Swapna, and Sushupti. So we are all either, we are in this external world when we are awake called Jagrit Avastha. We move to Swapna Avastha, dream stage. And when we are in deep sleep, it will all get encapsulated into a seed form. So we have this experience each day that this is like a drama happening outside. Okay, so I am transacting with the world, keep opening my windows of my shop or my house. And by evening, I just shut off these windows and then go and sit in front of a TV or a screen where nice movies are coming. So this is like a dream. And immediately after that, when I'm done with this, I go to sleep. It takes you to another stage called Sushupti. But Mandukya says the whole purpose is to go beyond that. What the person who wrote Gaudapada Akarika on Mandukya, who's called it as Turiya. Okay, it's a state which takes you to your true essential state or true conscious state. So this is the basic understanding with which we have developed lots of studies on this technique. This is a summary for you, though I'm not going to the details of them. This practice, when done on a daily basis, is shown to influence your physiological processes. Initially, it actually stimulates your body, followed by taking your body to very deep relaxation. It is shown to improve oxygenation in your brain. Okay, particularly we have done some studies looking at influence of this technique on specific brain areas. And it balances your autonomic nervous system, like we have sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic is stimulating, stress is related to sympathetic, while this technique takes you to more of parasympathetic dominance. It reduces inflammatory responses like that, which is needed actually as a repair mechanism. But when this increases, can damage your body. And also it reduces, calms down your mind. And these are some important references, those who are interested about science behind it. Om chanting has been shown to balance emotions, like by bringing deactivation in a part of the brain which actually regulates your emotions, called limbic system. And Om chanting is also shown to influence multiple other physiological functions. This very interesting study done in Italy demonstrated that doing a prayer, okay, like rosary prayer and chanting yoga mantras, can bring, once again, autonomic cardiovascular rhythmicity. What basically happens is when you do chanting, your breathing slows down. Slow down breathing can actually help you to bring in lots of changes physiologically. And that's what this paper published in British Medical Journal demonstrated. While another study on the mind sound resonance technique showing that it can actually reduce anxiety. This study was done in generalized anxiety disorder patients. And another study done in school children also showed it can improve your cognitive functions. It can make your perception better, attention better, as well as your memory better. Having said that, we will now move to the actual practice. This practice will have 7 steps. We start with a prayer, then we go to the second step where we tune our body through the frequencies of Avuma chanting. Then we do something called fine tuning with Om chanting. Then we do an act called resonance through chakras. Then we repeat the same mantra with loud chanting and mental chanting. At this 5th phase, 5A, we also have a special activity where we use a very powerful mantra called Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. So the same Mahamrutyunjaya mantra is also repeated loudly as well as mentally. And we always conclude the session with a resolve. Okay, so because a resolve is very powerful sankalpa, and a closing prayer always gives us a future direction. This practice can be started with this very powerful mantra, which is on Omkara, which goes something like this. Omkaram bindu samyuktam nityam dhyayanti yoginaha kamadam mokshadam chaiva omkaraya namo namaha. We, in the traditional conventional practice developed by S. Vyasa, we start with the prayer of Mahamrutyunjaya mantra itself, okay, which is basically looking at the whole essence of taking us from this whole clutches of death and bondage into this physical world beyond all this, okay. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukam iva bandhanat mrityor mukshiyam amrutat. So we can always start with any of these practices. So today we are going to start the practice with this Omkaram Bindu Samyuktam. And once we have done this, as I said, I'm going to give instructions for you to do this practice, like one by one step, as I initially mentioned. And then we are going to come to the resolve part of it. Only one step you can look at this, where resonance through chakras, what we call it as. So this is where all of us should be aware that we have these 6 chakras which are situated at different levels in our body. Okay, the lower 2 chakras, Muladhara and Swadhisthana, the middle 2 chakras, where you have Manipura and particularly Manipura and Anahata, and the upper 2 chakras, you have the Vishuddhi and Agna, and the crown chakra, which is also called as Sahasrara. So I'm going to give instructions anyway as we move forward, and you can always have any questions, we can take them at the end of it. So let us start the practice. All of you can sit comfortably wherever you are, in a comfortable position, either on the ground, in a Sukhasana, Padmasana, etc., or on a chair. Keep your back and neck erect, and try to relax your body, observe the whole body. Gently close your eyes. We will start with the prayer. Adopt Namaskara Mudra. Bring your palms together in front of your chest, in front of the heart chakra. I'm going to chant the prayer. You can, those who know this, you can chant along with me. Otherwise, you can just listen to it. Omkaram bindu samyuktam nityam dhyayanti yoginaha kamadam mokshadam chaiva Omkaraya namo namaha. Omkaraya namo namaha. Keep your eyes closed. Gently bring your hands down. Place your palms either on your thighs or on your knees. You can adopt any mudra if you are tuned with. Otherwise, you can sit comfortably, placing your palms on the thighs. Observe the whole body. Don't worry about the external disturbances. Try to connect yourself with your body and mind through your breathing. Gently bring your awareness on your breathing. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Slow down your breathing as you inhale. Take a very slow inhalation. As you exhale, make it a little longer than your inhalation. Now, as you inhale deeply, just observe your body from your head. And as you complete your inhalation, reach your toes. Observation. As you exhale, move from your toes gradually to your head. Now inhale deeply. Observe the lower part of the body. Exhale and relax. Now let us introduce the chant Ah as we exhale. Take a deep inhalation. When you exhale, chant the syllable ah. Deep inhalation. Let us introduce oo. When you exhale, take a deep inhalation. Now, with deep inhalation, we chant ma. We repeat again. First we chant ah, observe the lower part of the body. Then we chant woo. Then during that time we observe the middle part of the body. Then we chant ma, nasal sound, observe the upper part, start with ah, take a deep inhalation. Breathe in deeply. Now ma. Just feel the gentle vibrations, gentle resonance generated from chanting ah, oo, and ma. Let us fine tune this. Now inhale, we will start in the single breath. We will start from ah, move to oo, end with ma in a single breath. Take a deep breath, inhale. Now connect your observation with your body. Ah, oo, ma, moving from toes to the head as you chant. Inhale deeply. Feel the resonance after each exhalation. Once again, deep breath. The last part, now let us bring in the feeling of energizing ourselves when we inhale, and bring in the feeling of throwing away all the negative thoughts as we exhale. Inhale once again, Avuma, as you exhale along with the feel. Inhale. One more round. Now let us move to resonance through chakras. Now as we inhale and chant Ah, let us bring our awareness to our lower chakras. At your navel chakra, observe the lowermost part of your body, anal region, the rectal region, and then the region just behind your reproductive organs, the Muladhara and Swadhisthana. Let us take a deep breath while chanting, energize, observe these two lower chakras. Inhale and chant Akara. Now, when we exhale and chant Ukara, let us observe the middle two chakras, Manipura, which is at your navel region, umbilical region, Anahuta at your heart center. Inhale deeply. Now when we chant Ma while exhaling, observe your throat chakra Vishuddhi and between the two eyebrows the Agna chakra. Inhale deeply. Now we will combine all three and observe the flow of energy from the lower chakra to the upper chakra as we chant Avuma in single breath. Take a deep breath. Once again. One last round. Once again, observe the whole body. Glance at your different chakras and the flow of energy across your body. Upward movement of your energy. Let us move to Ahata and Anahata with Om. Now we are going to chant the syllable Om loudly and then mentally repeat the same chanting of the syllable Om When we repeat mentally, we just once again take a deep inhalation as if we are chanting loudly. We do the mental repetition without producing any sound, but only the same Om mentally. We'll start with loud chanting. Take a deep breath, exhaling, chant Omkara. Inhale. Mental chanting. Take a deep breath. Just to get the feel once again, let us chant loudly. Take a deep breath. Avanahata, mental chant. Take a deep breath. Last round of loud chanting. Ahata. Anahata, mental chanting. Now let us try to repeat the same process with this very powerful mantra, Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. Once we will chant loudly, I'm going to break it into smaller pieces. You can repeat after me. Loud chanting. Om Triambakam Yajamahe. Om Triambakam Yajamahe. Sugandhim Pustivardhanam. Sugandhim Pustivardhanam. Urvarukamiva bandhanat. Urvarukamiva bandhanat. Mrutyormukshiyamamrutat. Mrutyormukshiyamamrutat. We will just repeat the same ahata and anahata. First, we will do it in smaller parts. Om Trambakam Yajamahe, then Sugandhim Pustivardhanam, Urvarukamiva Bandhanat, Mrutyor Mukshiyam Amrutat. Loud chanting. Om Trambakam Yajamahe. Mental chanting. Sugandhim Pustivardhanam. Mentally repeat. Urvarukamiva bandhana. Mentally repeat. Mrutyor mukshiyamamrutat. Anahata. Once again. Om Triambakam Yajamahe. Anahata. Sugandhim Pustivardhanam. Anahata. Urvarukamiva Bandhanat. Anahata. Mrutyor Mukshiyamamrutat. Anahata. Now once we sing, chant the whole mantra together, and then anahata of the whole mantra. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pustivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrutyor Mukshiyamamrutat. Repeat the same mentally. Anahata. Once again, loud chanting. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pustivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrutyor Mukshiyamamrutat. Anahata. Repeat mentally. One last round. Loud chanting. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pustivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrutyor Mukshiyamamrutat. Mental repetition. Feel the resonance as if you are chanting, reverberating in your body. We are offering our salutations to that great three-eyed Lord Shiva to liberate us from these clutches of bondages. Like the way the cucumber gets liberated from its source. Let us have a sankalpa. Mentally make your own resolve. It can be anything positive. Like my body and mind and soul are energized, taking me to an optimal health. Or it can be I am becoming stress-free with calm mind and positive energy. Or during times like COVID, can have a resolution. My immunity is very high and my body is healthy all the time. Repeat this resolve in your mind a couple of times. Maintaining this wonderful energy, calmness. Let us conclude the session by praying for the well-being of the whole universe. Once again, gently bring your palms together in front of your chest. Namaskara Mudra. Keep your eyes closed. You can repeat after me. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. All together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let the whole world be happy, peaceful, without any ill health. Let everyone be protected and away from all miseries. Gently rub your palms, do palming. Make a cup of your palms, keep them on your eyes. Relax your eyes by the warmth produced by palming. Gently massage your face. Release your hands slowly. Open your eyes with few blinks. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, sir, for the complete eye-opening session on how sound and its resonance can help us in, giving us health benefit and also help us calming our mind. Also, with this note, I would like to announce that Vivekananda Health Global conducts a meditation session weekly twice, regularly. We also have packages like 2 days, 4 days, and 8 days sessions. For more details, you can contact us. The information is there in the chat box, or also you can log into our website www.vivekanandahealth.com. Okay, once again, thanking you, sir. We have few questions here asked by our participants. I would like to read off the questions. And the question is, can meditation help to boost our immunity?
Yeah, well, appropriate question during COVID. The answer is very straightforward. Certainly, yes, we have lots of studies to demonstrate that when you do meditation using any means, it can help you to boost your immunity. So this is measured through multiple ways. So looking at your immune markers and also how it can protect you through reduction of inflammation by measuring inflammatory markers. So the answer is yes, it can definitely boost your immunity.
Okay, sir. So we also have another question. Can meditation improve the lung functions?
It depends on what meditation are you doing. Directly, when you are talking about the physical activity, like the lung functions per se, if you are not doing any breathing-based practices, it may not have a direct impact on your lung functions. So, but there are techniques which involve breathing practices. So those can have a direct impact on your lung functions. Second thing, like during periods of COVID, so your lung functions are affected because of there is infection and inflammation in your lungs. So when you do meditation during that time, definitely it can improve your lung functions in a different manner of reducing inflammation and probably facilitating healing in the lungs. So you need breathing to impact directly, but in other conditions, meditation can definitely help you to improve lung functions indirectly.
Okay, so another question on the similar terms of boosting immunity. Does any form of mantra chanting helps in boosting immunity?
Yeah, of course, it's a very vast science. Mantras are very powerful. As I said, mantras can be either, it can be a single syllable to a long chant. Okay, so it can have direct impact and indirect impact on your body and mind. Particularly looking at immunity, there are few studies done. There is some work done on Gayatri Mantra, some work done on chant called Om Mani Padmeham, which is done in Buddhist chants. Also, some one study done on Ave Maria chant, which is done in Christian chant, and also on Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. There is one study done in Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital in New Delhi on Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. Very interesting study on traumatic brain injury patients who are in coma. Okay, so, and also the power of mantras have been tested in different way, because there is one thing where we chant and we have the effect. There are other ways where somebody else is chanting, you are a recipient, but still you will have an impact on your physiological functions. A third thing, a distant healing effect. In this study on traumatic brain injury patients, the chanting was done in a Gurukul or a Sanskrit university while these patients were here, but they have done some kind of a sankalpa before doing this chanting. So there was a connection between the chanting and the patients based on their various personality indices. So certainly mantras have very profound effect on human beings, and it is always connected with multiple factors, not as simple as just chanting them.
Okay, okay. So also with respect to mind sound resonance technique, we have a question. While practicing mental chanting, we might control our breath out of conscious. Does holding breath or not going in rhythm affect the practice?
Definitely. I mean, breathing is a very important tool in chanting. So because we always believe that breath is the connection between body and mind. Okay, so when you hold your breath, it is said that you're actually cessating your mental processes. So there is a well-known shloka which says that chale vate chale chittam nischalam nischalo bhavet yogis tanutvam apnoti tado vayu nirodayet, which means as your breath moves, your mind moves. If you cessate your breath, your mind also in a way cessates. But in chanting, when you are repeating, you don't need to hold your breath. So when you are holding your breath, anyway, it has an impact on your mind. But what you are repeating is the same thing what you did as a loud chanting, and you want to repeat it. At that time, you don't manipulate intentionally your breath. Then you will have better effects rather than regulating your breath. But regulation of breath has a different direct impact on your mind.
Okay. So also we have one more last question. Can Om chanting be done together with cyclic meditation before or after cyclic meditation session?
Om meditation is part of every activity. So there is no limitation to Om chanting, be it before and after a relaxation technique or before and after a stimulating technique like Surya Namaskar. So Om, that's why has a place in every place. Even when you chant anything, whether it is a peace chant or a Mahamrutyunjaya mantra, it starts with Om and it ends with Om. So in yoga, you can use Om in any place where you want to incorporate, like you can intersperse whichever way, but certainly cyclic meditation, you can use Om as a chanting even after the completion of cyclic meditation if you want. But cyclic meditation has all this in it. because at the end of cyclic meditation, after cyclic meditation, you do pranayama and you end pranayama with Brahmari, so which has a similar effect of Makara chanting.
Okay. So on the similar lines, Prema has asked the question, is there any particular type of Om chanting?
It's always said that the chanting should be based on an individual's understanding and capacity. So the syllable only you have to keep in mind is when you chant akara, you have to ensure that you are bringing that sound from your abdominal region. Okay, of course, the sound won't originate from the abdominal region. Like basically, the sound is coming from your throat, but the facilitation of development of sound happens from your diaphragmatic breathing. The second thing, when you chant ukara, it is always from the thoracic region, while chest region. And when you chant makara, it is from your head and neck region, throat region. So these are the few things which you should keep in your mind. Otherwise, the duration of Om chanting, like akara, how long should I chant? Ukara, how long, etc. There is no yardstick. Based on your breathing and your capacity, you should start. But the way you have to progress is very important. Longer the exhalation, if you can make your akara as long as possible, ukara as long as, and makara as long, it is always good. But in Om chanting, you have to keep one thing very clear in your mind, that it has 4 parts, not 3 parts. So we always think that Om has akara, ukara, makara, but there is a silence after that. So that is what has been connected in Mandukya Upanishad, that akara jagrit, ukara swapna, and makara with your sushupti. But that silence is when you are with your true self, okay, getting back to your original self. So keep in mind, at that, after completing your makara chanting, there is a silence, and try to increase that part of silence as you move forward with your chanting.
Okay, all right. So hope we have answered all the questions. So yeah, thank you once again, sir, for the wonderful session. And I also thank for all the participants joining in the Zoom and also joining us from live FB. Once again, thank you one and all. And please do check our website for meditation and meditation sessions, and definitely will give all these details in the meditation sessions on how to chant and the basic things and basics to meditations and different types of meditation sessions, especially guided meditations. So on this note, we'll conclude the session. Thank you one and all for joining. Thank you and good night. Sarve Bhavantu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shraddha. And I wish everybody a very safe, healthy, and happy New Year.